less is more. Small parts deliberately. Small parts deliberately is a big one. A lot of people spend 14 minutes going t t t t t t t t t t, and then they get the shaker out, and then they play kind of a simple chord progression, but then they add 14 guitar parts because it's more harmonic. Don't get me wrong, if you could snap your fingers and be at the end of that 14-minute loop setup, it might sound amazing, but it's not worth boring everyone in the room within the first minute of that to get to that point. Sometimes it might be. If you're taking them on a journey, don't get me wrong, sometimes it might be. But less is very much more. The good thing about looping is, versus a band, is the guitarist in the band might have to play a couple of parts, a couple of deliberate parts, and might have to be a weapon to be able to pull some stuff off. Same with the drummer, same with everybody else who might be playing in the band. The good thing is, if you're looping, you might just need to go, and that's one loop. And that's it, because that's all you have to play, because the next part you're just doing that. And those two parts together is what the actual guitarist has to do in the band, but you don't have to do that. You need to make sure it's in time and it's simple and it's effective and deliberate. So that's very much something that only you seem to notice when it gets more complex, whereas the audience doesn't really know. They hear a beat, some kind of a beat, some kind of a chord progression, maybe some bass, especially if you have a sub. That's around it. Speaking about, this is actually, I don't know why I'm throwing Ed Sheeran under the bus just for this one little bit, because he is amazing, great guy, and done a lot of stuff in the world of live looping and bringing it to a household name. But he's a big, he does this a lot. And that's when you have a record function. Let me try to show you what I'm talking about. So. You'll throw lots of layers over the top of itself. So I've got 3 kick drums hitting there, 3 kick drums hitting there, 3 kick drums hitting there. And the problem with anybody who knows anything about phasing and cancellation and stacked notes and stacked wave files is sometimes you'll get a really loud kick because they're all perfectly lined up, and then sometimes they're just out of line that you get almost no kick, or it's thin and it's boxy and it sounds horrible. If you're ever layering anything that's got more bass in it, try and just do it once. I know it sounds kind of counterintuitive, especially if you're really trying to get on top of the beat and trying to lock in and stuff, but if you, instead of I've got those little like grr, grr, grr bits. If you can find a way, I'm taking it all off. Even if you get it wrong. Whoops, I made a mistake. Let me undo it. Do it again. That's better. It's worth undoing it and doing it again instead of just layering it over and over and over again. Also, it's usually shorter. Let's see. These are a couple of cool things that people don't think about. Is you are the star, the loop pedal's not the star. So try to perform to the people and not have the loop station be the wow factor. Because what generally happens is if it's the wow factor and somebody's sitting there and you're playing a 4-hour gig or a 3-hour gig, no matter, you could be John Mayer, and at the 3-hour mark, you're like, I get it. I understand. Yeah. You're really good at doing those 5 songs. And it's like, and I'm a huge John Mayer fan. I could listen to him for 5 hours. But if that's the trick, then you're going to lose people kind of fast. Whereas if you make it, you're the star, you're the trick, you're the person who doesn't need the loop station, but you add it to your set, that's kind of where the gold is. And on that, we can talk about song list and set lists and song choices and stuff later. But one thing that I like to try and do throughout all of my looping is I don't loop every single song. I'll loop 3 and then I might play 1 acoustic song, or I'll just loop a beat and then just play Falls in Prison. I don't know. Why not? You know. So and then creative ways to stop. That's great. You got the whole thing going. You got a whole beat going, and it's like. You kind of got everything going. You need to find somewhere that you can stop, because otherwise it just goes from like all of this sound to like a thin acoustic guitar or nothing, because you're like in the middle of the loop. Creative ways to stop could be stopping in the middle of a chord progression. For no reason, because it's fun to watch everybody go, what? Or I have an expression pedal here. I don't know if you can see it on the screen or not. It just looks like a volume pedal, but it's an expression pedal, and it adjusts the volume of my loop. So you can do a live fade out. Bands can't do that. You can also pull out middle of the song. Let me go. You can pull out and come back in. It's kind of cool, instead of kind of like a DJ mute sort of thing. That's something else that's kind of fun. But my point is trying to find creative ways to stop. Sometimes it's nice to just have everything playing and you could take out one thing, two things, and kind of fade out. That's handy if you have a multi-track looper. But the point is ending it, stopping, is actually one of the more harder parts, and one of the things that leave people going, oh, well, that was really cool, instead of just end.